Hello, you're welcome to Couples College. Don't mind us. It's our wedding anniversary. It's 30 years of marriage. It's the week of our 30th wedding anniversary. So we are still in the mood of the celebration. That's why you caught us doing what we're doing. Don't worry about that. Welcome to Couples College. Like we promised, it's going to be a special edition. And we promised that we're going to have a special dedicated topic today. We're looking at the topic marriage is our hospital. Let me first of all greet my wife of 30 years. SSO, congratulations. Happy 30th wedding anniversary. It's wonderful. What's it like get being married to KSO? Let's look at that. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about marriage being a hospital today, but let's talk about 30 years. How's it been?
Mix is a mix. How do I put it?
Miss Green.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Downs
moments
and up.
of excitement, moments of quarreling, moments of getting angry.
Do we quarrel? You want to tell them that we're quarreling? Something that we should be, it's between me and you now. Don't tell the world that we are quarreling.
They must know now.
All right, we quarrel. Me and SSO, we quarrel. All right, okay, continue.
We can't even count the times that we have quarreled.
Disagreements.
I'm telling you.
You go your way, I go my way. You have your thought, I have my thought. SSO can be tough. My wife can be tough. When she wants to make a decision, she can be tough in making a decision. I say, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
See who is talking. You, uncle.
I'm a gentle boy.
Yeah.
Very gentle. I'm mild,
I actually got married to a gentle boy.
Exactly. Exactly.
I am the one controlling him. Once I say go, he goes.
No. Okay. Let's get serious. All right. So it's been wonderful getting married in 30 years. It's just a way of telling the world, especially young couples over there is nothing like a perfect marriage. Perfect marriages don't exist.
They don't.
Because God has not created perfect husbands. He has not created perfect wives. So there are bound to be ups and downs. The very first week we got married, I remember that was in 1996. The very first week we had our first major quarrel. Yes. Let's call it quarrel. It's not fight because we didn't exchange
exactly.
blow.
Quarrel.
And what happened? We just came back from honeymoon. We had a honeymoon at
Camp Young
in Ede. And we came back from Camp Young and the roads, we didn't have a car. We joined public transport, so we're tired. We came back. As soon as we entered our room, I removed my clothes. I can't remember. I think it was shirt and trousers. I removed my shirt, I removed my trousers, and I threw it and it landed on the door. And Madam screamed, said, "What? How can you throw your clothes on the door?" And I was like, what's the big deal? That's where I've been throwing my clothes. That's where I've been throwing my trousers ever since I was a teenager. When my father gave me a room to myself, I've been throwing trousers. So what's the big deal? And hell was let loose simply because I threw trousers.
Can you imagine?
Can you still remember that day?
Yeah.
So what was in your mind? Where were you bothered about my throwing trouser? Just throw trouser and the trouser landed on the door. Egbo, what's the big deal about that?
Can you imagine?
Anything special?
Actually, my husband grew up when he was 12 years old. From the story he told me, his father gave him a room to himself.
That's true.
And should I say, unfortunately, I grew in my mother's room. I grew up in my mother's room. So you don't scatter things around. Everything has its place. So you don't mess things up. And so I got married. We just got back from our honeymoon and my husband threw his clothes and it landed on the door. Can you imagine? I was like, I screamed, what is that? But this man said, what is the big deal? You can imagine.
It could have landed on the ceiling fan for all I care. It could have landed on the ceiling fan.
You can imagine the feelings. I was like, this is not right. And he was standing on his right. That's what is the big deal. I said, no, it's a big deal. You can't be doing this. And he said, ah. And that was it. For me, I made a mistake by marrying him. And he said a lot of things to me too. What is the big deal? He is the husband. He said there's no big deal in it. And so I should take it like that. I said, I cannot take it like that. You can imagine that kind of quarrel. It was a big issue.
Well, we are just letting the world know that in marriage, there's bound to be differences. There's bound to be differences, especially differences of background.
Yeah.
What came to fore between myself and SSO on the day we had our first quarrel on arriving from Camp Young in Ede after our honeymoon was it was a case of different background. I was coming from a background of independence, complete independence. You imagine when a 12-year-old had a room to himself. That's independence. And here was I married to a girl who lived in her mother's room until the day of the wedding. That's that's dependence. So we have a case of independence versus dependence. So we had to blend. Now, over the years, what have we learned to do? We've learned to accept each other as we are. We've learned to manage each other. Now, the truth is this. Have I stopped throwing trousers? Ask her.
Big question. Do you want me to answer that?
Well, but don't say everything.
Okay.
Don't say everything.
Okay.
You know.
Actually, it has reduced. But he still throws trousers.
I still throw trousers. I still throw trousers. Once in a while, not every time.
Not every time.
It has reduced.
Yeah.
We may not be able to talk about marriage being an hospital today. Let's not go into that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the 30 years journey.
Experience.
Yes,
Okay.
the 30 years journey.
Okay.
How God has helped us to blend.
Okay.
Now, for me, I discovered that the differences between me and my wife kept showing face, all through the 30 years journey. Even now, even after 30 years, we still have differences. But what have we done to the differences? We've learned to manage the differences. For example, let me tell you another one of the differences that we encountered when we got married. Now, when I was young, I come from Shagamu. My hometown is Shagamu in Ogun State. And in the early 70s, while we were growing up, water was big deal. Water was a big issue. We didn't have water. The water corporation will give us water maybe once in a blue moon. And when water comes, when water runs, when the water corporation brings water, they usually bring it around 4 a.m., 3 a.m. And by 6 a.m., 7 a.m., the water was gone. So water was gold in our family. Water was real gold in our family. So what do? We manage water. We manage water. You bathe only once a day in my family. And the bathing once a day, you have to stand in a
bowl
or bath. Bath. We call it bath. In those the bath. Bath. You stay inside the bath, you bathe inside the bath, and you collect the water. It is that water that you use for flushing and other things. You wash clothes, you keep the water. You know that don't look at me with that kind of eyes. We are plenty of us are like that. So that's the kind of background I came from. So water meant so much to us. We manage water. Now, when I got married, there was a problem. The woman I married, in their own house, in their own family, they had borehole. They had borehole, and the borehole supplied water consistently. So they bathe in the morning, they bathe in the afternoon, they bathe in the evening. See trouble. So when we got married, my wife was going to be bathing 3 times a day, and I bathe only once a day. And to her, I was dirty. To me, she was a mommy water. Because why would somebody bathe 3 times a day? I said, I looked at her, I said, why will you bathe 3 times a day? And she was like, why should you bathe only once a day? And that became an issue. Because as far as I was concerned, water, you don't waste water. Water, was gold to us. Even as a minister of God, I travel around. Even up till now, I still have that consciousness of water. I have that consciousness of you don't waste water and all of that. And so we had to battle with that. When we bathe, I want to keep water. And my wife was like, why are you keeping water? Let the water flow away. And you know, it wasn't a fault of mine, neither was it a fault of hers. It was just a question of, the different backgrounds that was coming to fall in our lives.
Yeah. One other thing I remember was the issue of giving accounts.
Hallelujah.
When I was growing up, I had an autonomy of managing money. There was a time I was living with my aunt, my mother's sister. So she was a trader. This alajakpa, buying goods from the farm and selling it, go to Igbo, Ketu to sell fruit. So at the time I was going alone. I think I should be maybe 15 years at that particular time or less. So I go to Lagos myself to sell things, and then she tells me, this is the amount I am expecting you to bring out of these goods. And so if I am opportune to sell more than what she's expecting, the money belongs to me, so I can buy anything I like. Nobody will ask me. And so when I got married, my husband would give me money and then ask me to write down.
accounts.
I must give accounts of what
give
I've
accounts.
spent money on. And if peradventure I forget to give account of 5 naira, oh, my husband will remind me 10 times before we sleep in the night.
I'm from that sector. I'm from that sector in Ogun State, where money is
Ijebu,
Eh?
Uwalare.
Uwalare. You don't spend money anyhow. We keep money and then we give account,
Hey.
of how money is spent, because it is Uwalare.
You can imagine that kind of feeling. And my husband say, you've not told me what to spend the 5 naira on. And I was like, is it that this man doesn't trust me? Does he think I have spent the money on something else other than what he has asked me to spend money on? It was a serious issue. And so I felt so bad until at a time I began to have an understanding that his background was coming to play. And my background of autonomy when it comes to spending was coming to play. And so I had to preach to myself. I had to calm down, understand with his nature, and then marry my nature with ease.
Over the last 30 years, God has helped us to blend. We now understand ourselves better now. There are many things that get me annoyed in those years that don't get me annoyed again, because I'm used to it. Now, not because those things have changed completely. That's one lesson I want all young couples, to learn. It's not everything that will change. Don't insist on this must change, that must change. If it is not, we're not talking about sin now.
Exactly.
We're not talking about sinful habits. We're talking about characters that don't necessarily harm anybody, but you don't like it because it's not part of what you grew up with, so you don't like it, and you want your wife, you want your spouse
be like
conform to your own image. It's a dangerous thing. So
Exactly.
the mistake a lot of people make is that they turn themselves into teachers. They want to teach their spouse. They want their spouse. They have a picture. Some even create a mental picture of
Exactly.
who their wives
Should
or who
be.
their husband should be. A lot of young people have read so much love stories. In those days, it was Mills and Boons. It was James Hadley Chase and all of that. Today, it is internet stories. You have read a lot of internet stories of love, how they lived happily thereafter, and all those kind of things. It doesn't happen in real life.
Exactly.
So your wife, your husband may not necessarily be like what you desire, in quote, but you will learn to understand, Number one, you learn to accept,
Yeah.
you learn to understand,
Understand.
you learn to appreciate,
Yeah.
and you learn to manage.
Manage.
One of these days, we're going to talk about the 7 principles that make marriage work. 7 principles that make marriage work. We're going to talk about it one day. We promised to talk about marriage being our hospital. But time will not permit us today. We are still in the mood of celebrating our 30th year, 30th wedding anniversary. We are still in the mood of celebration. So we just felt like recapping and looking back at our lives, my life with SSO, SSO's life with KSO, and then we just, time just went, out of control. Next week, by the grace of God, we will talk about marriage being our hospital. We promise you. Don't forget, stay with us on this channel. Stay with us on this program, Couples College, on the Shegun Okeowo TV on YouTube. Don't miss it. 6 o'clock on Fridays, we'll be here with you again.
In case you have not subscribed,
Yes.
please subscribe to the Shegun Okeowo TV so that whenever any episode drops, you can be alerted. Thank you for staying tuned.
Thank you once again. Thank you for all our friends who celebrated us on our wedding anniversary. Thank you for sending messages. Thank you for sending gifts. Thank you for all the things that you have sent to us to celebrate with us. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your good wishes. We look forward to celebrating more with you and with us to the glory of God. Let's meet next week, Friday.